Hello, my fellow human beings, and welcome to another week of lifelong learning. I wanted to touch base this week on some important coping mechanisms that you can use when you're struggling with anxiety, whether it be at a party, at home, by yourself, out in public, at work, whether you're just sitting there worrying about something, or you just can't get out of your head, or you just have nervous tics. I tend to bite my fingernails a lot, which is truly my biggest pet peeve, so it's something that I try to break myself of, as well as if you're able to break those negative action patterns as well as disrupt the negative thought patterns, it makes it a lot easier to continue on with your journey and your change. So I wanted to share some things that have worked for me in the last 2-ish years whilst battling agoraphobia and general anxiety. I've always been a worrywart, and so I'll go ahead and start with my blankie. As silly as it sounds, I have always had a blanket that is literally a safety blanket for me, a safety net. I've always referred to them since I was a child as my favorite. It is a safe space for me, and as I've spoken before, it literally creates a blockage for you between other energy systems from your own. It's also something that just makes you feel really comfortable. If you're feeling kind of sick, typically the first thing you want to do is grab a blanket, curl up on the couch, maybe drink some hot tea, or just kind of bum out. You're not feeling good, so you want to be comfortable. Also, your clothing, I think, is super important. If you're trying to dress to impress and you're just really not feeling comfortable, are you really going to be able to impress to the caliber that you want, because you're just not feeling at your own mental, emotional, or spiritual best? Because what we have going on inside is much quicker to show outside than it is to look at someone and be able to determine what's going on their inside. So I would much rather feel comfortable inside so that I can then show that on the outside, that I am comfortable in my own skin, that I'm confident, and I'm down to do whatever it is and conquer that task no matter what I have on. Also, when it comes to comfy clothes, I want that same enveloping feeling that a blanket might give me, and I have been known to take my blankie on rides with me, or even to the hospital. It really doesn't matter, as long as you're the person that is control of your own comfort and your own happiness. It really doesn't matter what other people think, especially if they're not as comfortable as you are. But I do find that baggy and or comfortable clothing is kind of a replacement for that when I go out into public. Something else that I find that is extremely useful for myself, typically I have some kind of jewelry on. It's something to fiddle with. I'm sure you've heard of spinner rings. You can literally spin them. They stay in one place, and there is like a bearing that you just twist, and it's actually a lot like fidget spinners. Might sound lame, but it's something to keep your hands busy. Same with the little cubes, the little action cubes. It's something to keep your hands busy so that your brain doesn't have the opportunity to go crazy and then take over. Also, big hair ties, just something that you can kind of fiddle with. I especially love the really soft scrunchies, because it's that sensory feeling again. And I think that is a great way to kind of pull yourself away from maybe what's going on in the setting that might be making you feel uncomfortable or causing you anxiety. You can kind of withdraw back to yourself if you need to, which can be really important when you need that small break. Also, this is kind of in the same group, but kind of like squish toys or stress balls. I usually just call these little guys my squishies, or squish, whatever, and I'll keep them in my pocket because you don't see me really fiddling with them when I'm just hanging out here. I just have my hands in my pockets and I'm going crazy, squeezing them, squishing them, pulling them every which way. But you know, they're cool companions too. Like this guy is a little unicorn that's glittery, and it's supposed to be like a little balloon animal butterfly. So you know, something small and positive to kind of draw your attention away from you know, that negative attention-seeking aspect in your life. I also love like little stuffed animals. Squishmallows are awesome. I mean, they're super cute, but something small and compact, you can take it with you so that it's not as big as a blanket, so you can even just keep it in your purse, your bag, whatever. Also, something else that I truly feel is extremely important is to always keep some kind of material on you to completely distract you from the real world, quote unquote. You know, this is the book that I'm currently working on, and if I can, I try to make sure that I'm bringing a bag with me that's big enough to be able to hold these things. I tried to also think of ideas that were more unisex and not necessarily just focused on, you know, how females can help themselves. You know, myself being a female, I feel that sometimes my tactics tend to lean more towards helping other females, but there are so many coping skills here that I've touched on today that are positive and truly only take a couple dollars or a couple minutes to distract you and to serve their purpose. So I hope that you guys are able to give some of these options a try and help distract yourselves from the anxieties of the outside world, because, you know, let's face it, we're all adults and we all have responsibilities, and so as nice as it sounds, we don't get to curl up on the couch every day with our blankie and our stuffed animals and just, you know, be in our safe space. So something to work on this week, and aside from that, I'll see you guys next week. Love and light.